And her PR continues to get more extreme and ridiculous. You almost feel like the crazy is well and truly setting in.
We're saying to Harry, be very, very careful about trusting this woman because you'd experienced it. Your family had experienced it.
Well, William allegedly said the same thing.
As to why the royal family needed to be warned. And anyone can look back now and say, well, actually, what Sam was saying at the time was very...
They said Meghan took a sweet little gap year. But the truth, it's a whole different story. A secret husband, a sealed annulment, and whispers of a baby that was never meant to hit the headlines.
Battling the same ghosts from her past. Bottom line, Meghan's not backing down, but she's furious this fight isn't over. So, Samantha Markle, there's the brief.
4 years, Meghan Markle's been selling the world this polished timeline. Graduate in 1994, carefree year of self-discovery, then sliding into Northwestern in 1995. Like she's the picture-perfect golden girl. Sounds flawless, right? Too flawless. Nobody lives a life that neat. And Meghan's missing year refuses to stay clean because every time her so-called gap year comes up, one name keeps crawling back into the spotlight.
She confirms the year of Meghan's birth is 1981, not 1976.
Joe Giuliano. He's no Hollywood social climber, no red carpet wannabe. He's old-school Italian-American, the type who believes in loyalty, family dinners on Sunday, and keeping dirty laundry locked behind closed doors.
Samantha's confirmed it now in legal documents and her book that her birth year is 1981. So how about the official records?
Privacy wasn't just important to him. It was sacred. And then you throw Meghan into that world. The girl with stars in her eyes and ambition boiling hotter than anyone could handle. It wasn't sparks flying. It was a wildfire, and it nearly torched everything in its path. The whispers around Jersey and New York are vicious. Meghan wasn't bouncing around Europe with a backpack sipping espresso in Paris cafes like she claimed. No.
As per Google. A lot of people, though, say that Samantha Markle had since revealed Meg's true age in her court documents.
As per Google. A lot of people, though, say that Samantha Markle had since revealed Meg's true age in her court documents. Insiders swear she was locked in with Joe, and not just as a fling, not just some summer romance. People close to the Giuliano family insist there was a marriage, a real one. Quick, quiet, and ugly enough that an annulment had to be pushed through the courts. And here's the kicker. Some even say there was more than paperwork involved. A secret so explosive it could rewrite her entire fairy tale timeline. And here's the bombshell.
Well, it's not a matter of not going away. It's that in Netflix...
It wasn't just filed, it was sealed tight. Who seals an annulment at 19? Unless there's something so massive, so damaging that the only option was to bury it forever. Some argue this wasn't about sparing Meghan embarrassment. It was about erasing a full-blown disaster because whispers claimed there was more exchanged than just rings and promises. By the summer of 1995, the talk was clear.
Horrible things were said about me that weren't true. And, even though it's not defamation item by item.
Meghan was pregnant. That's when things get murky. A baby girl, insiders say, was quietly folded into the Giuliano family. No adoption papers, no public announcements, no big reveal, just silence. Neighbors in Chicago recall a child suddenly appearing at backyard barbecues, always introduced vaguely as family. No explanation, no questions. But looking back, that silence screams louder than any headline could. This wasn't two kids fooling around or playing house. This was a head-on collision between Meghan's obsession with fame and the Giuliano's obsession with keeping everything behind closed doors.
Samantha is 58 years old, born in 1964. The court documents from Samantha, she confirms there is a 17-year difference in age.
And out of that clash, a scandal was born. One powerful enough to rewrite her perfect origin story. Here's the part that drives people crazy. Meghan's so-called gap year doesn't exist. Not in photos, not in documents, not in travel records, nothing. She graduates in 1994, reappears at Northwestern in 1995, and in between a black hole. Meanwhile, her classmates flaunted graduation trips, summer scrapbooks, smiling photos in Europe.
Together, she had executive control. They were purposely put there in my.
Meghan absolutely nothing. No snapshots, no souvenirs, no memories that prove her version of events. Just silence, and the kind of silence that feels carefully constructed. Meghan crickets. Not a single passport stamp. Not one faded photo of her with a backpack in Europe. Nothing.
Samantha's confirmed it now in legal documents and in her book that her birth year is 1981. So how about the official records that are not on Google?
And let's be real, Meghan has always been obsessed with a camera. From childhood plays to Hollywood auditions, she documented everything. So why the sudden blackout now? Commentators online aren't buying the carefree adventure excuse anymore. They're saying that so-called gap year wasn't about wanderlust. It was chaos. Forget study abroad programs. What really happened was a sealed annulment in Las Vegas. Forget romantic train rides through Paris. It was Chicago whispers about a baby nobody was supposed to mention.
Which incited violence against me. It hurt it was a character assassination and damaging to me in a lot of ways. And so I don't, it's not.
The missing year isn't missing by accident. It was buried like evidence. And here's what makes it so suspicious. Meghan's entire brand is built on sharing her truth. Every glossy documentary, every Oprah sit-down, every tearful interview with Harry has been about telling her side of the story. She sells herself as transparent, vulnerable, honest. But the second anyone dares to ask about 1994 to 1995, boom, silence. Cold, calculated silence.
Done to me, it was fake news PR.
Reddit sleuths have even coined a nickname for it. Not the gap year, but the year. And honestly, it fits because it doesn't look like normal privacy. It looks like a cover-up. A deliberate, carefully stitched hole in her life story. And a hole that big doesn't just happen. Gets dug on purpose. It's a hole Meghan can't patch. And here's the savage truth. When there's a blank in a celebrity's timeline, fans don't let it slide. They dig. They obsess. They build theories like detectives on a crime show.
I don't have the power to pay a PR house and television shows and magazines to put out articles about her. I don't have.
And Meghan's missing year. It's turned into the ultimate cliffhanger. The one mystery nobody can stop chasing. If anyone has kept Meghan's ghosts alive, it's Samantha Markle. The erunged half-sister has turned exposing Meghan into a full-time job. And trust me, she doesn't play nice. Every time Meghan rolls out another polished interview or tries to reinvent herself as flawless, Samantha swoops in like a hawk, ripping holes straight through the fairy tale. And she doesn't deal in soft hints or may.
That are put out there about me and about my dad. She does. And so there's no one on this planet that can tell me with her.
She goes straight for the jugular. Her words cut blunt. Why lie? Why erase it unless there's something real to erase? That's the kind of accusation you can't shake off with a smile or a PR spin. It forces people to take a second look. Samantha doesn't even need solid proof to stir the pot. Her persistence alone keeps the fire raging. Every interview she books, every book she writes, every lawsuit she stirs up, it drags the rumors back into the spotlight Meghan has worked so hard to bury.
Birth Index, and per the website at the CaliforniaBirthIndex.org, the California Birth Index, or CABI, is a data.
Tabloids, Meghan can shrug them off. Palace gossip, easy to dismiss, but Samantha, that's family. And when family airs out your secrets, it hits different. Cuts deeper and it sticks longer. Critics argue Samantha isn't just bitter or jealous. She's credible. She was close enough to Meghan's missing year to smell the smoke before the fire, and that makes her accusations dangerous. If sealed records really exist,
1905 to 1995. CABI was compiled by the California Office of Health Information and Research.
Samantha is the one woman who could rip them out of the shadows and drop them right into the daylight. And Meghan knows it. That's why she snaps so sharply whenever her half-sister's name gets mentioned. Samantha has become the ultimate wild card. The one piece Meghan can't predict, can't silence, can't spin. And as long as Samantha keeps running her mouth, the same question refuses to die. What is Meghan so desperate to hide? When Meghan locked down Prince Harry, she didn't just snag a husband or a fancy new title. She walked straight into the most image-obsessed employer on earth.
Abstracts of birth certificates, putting her full official name of Rachel Meghan Markle.
The British monarchy. This is an institution built on appearances, polished smiles, and airtight storylines. Their survival depends on controlling the narrative because one messy rumor can shake the crown itself. But Meghan's missing year, it's not just another royal scandal about mistresses, tiaras, or leaked texts. It's something darker, something personal, something that threatens to unravel her story from the inside out.
To keep the same energy for the rest of the information that is on here, including the date of her birth, which shows August.
A ghost in her timeline that no palace PR machine can neatly erase. This isn't a drunk party photo, a messy, or even a rogue headline that slipped through the cracks. No, this is a black hole in Meghan's biography. An entire year that simply doesn't exist on paper. And if there's truly a child tied to it, then it's not just Meghan's lie anymore. It becomes a palace cover-up, a royal-sized scandal with global fallout. Think about it. Palace aides allegedly combed through every inch of Meghan's past with surgical precision before that wedding. 81.
So, you have Google, Samantha Markle's book, and the court documents from Samantha Markle, birth index from California, the bio everyone jumped on when it showed she...
Every job, every ex, every photo, every scrap of detail that could possibly embarrass the firm. Yet somehow this missing year slipped by unnoticed. Please, that doesn't look like an oversight. That looks like orchestration. A blank page left blank on purpose. Now that whispers about the Giuliano connection are circling again. The palace is boxed into a corner. Do they come out swinging with denials?
These things are saying she was born in 1981. So why would this old 1997 publication of 17 say she was 5 years older? 20.
Do they quietly acknowledge the whispers, or do they keep hiding behind cold silence? The problem is silence doesn't look neutral anymore. In the court of public opinion, silence looks guilty. And let's be real, the monarchy's reputation is already hanging by a thread. Between Harry and Meghan's Netflix bombs, the Oprah confessions, and the spare backlash, the crown has never looked weaker. One more credibility crisis, and it could splinter what little trust they still have left with the public.
Well, who knows? Clearly an accident. Maybe she was trying to play older then. Who knows? Sometimes you want to play older when you're younger. But yes, this was a mistake, and it was not picked up before publication.
Because here's the nightmare scenario. If Meghan's secret past exists and the palace helped bury it, then the scandal doesn't just belong to her. It stains the monarchy itself, branding the crown with a kind of hypocrisy they may never wash off. Beyond the palace gates, Meghan's brand was never just about royalty. It was Hollywood gold. Or at least it used to be. Netflix, Spotify, Penguin Random House. They all threw millions at Meghan and Harry, selling the glossy fairy tale of two rebels escaping the crown to live their truth. Sounded perfect, marketable, bankable, safe. But here's the catch. Hollywood doesn't just buy stories. It buys reputations.
It's not true, guys. Not true. All of the evidence here, it's reasonable to conclude Megzy is not lying about her age. I know she lies a lot about stuff, but no, she was.
And whispers about Meghan's missing year. That's pure poison in an industry obsessed with image. Executives don't want to bet millions on a star who might implode halfway through a press tour, especially not one who's already delivered underwhelming numbers and lukewarm reviews. That's a disaster waiting to happen. And now the industry murmurs are getting louder.
Today is her birthday, and we can officially now say that this theory that she's lying about her age is debunked. It's not true, people. It's not true.
Today is her birthday, and we can officially now say that this theory that she's lying about her age is debunked. It's not true, people. It's not true. Behind the scenes, insiders claim Meghan's credibility isn't just slipping. It's circling the drain. A secret marriage, a hidden baby, an erased year in her timeline. That's not relatable content. That's a PR nightmare. Hollywood thrives on reinvention, but it does not forgive hidden scandals. The golden couple who once sold authenticity are suddenly being whispered about as a ticking time bomb. And in Hollywood, once the shine fades, nobody wants to touch you because one wrong headline can tank an entire franchise overnight. That's not just gossip. That's a tabloid disaster waiting to blow up every brand partnership tied to Meghan's name. And here's the cruel irony.
Look, yeah, sometimes we are hard on Meghan, but the reality is it's hard to trust her now because she said so much. So I can understand why people would jump on this, but this is a problem.
The empire Meghan built depends entirely on her narrative being spotless, untouchable, flawless. She sold herself as the woman brave enough to tell her truth. But if that truth flips into hypocrisy, then every deal, every contract, every investor suddenly has their escape hatch wide open. The fallout wouldn't just bruise her ego. It would threaten her financial survival. Because in Hollywood, once the mask slips, the money disappears faster than the applause. And let's be honest, for Meghan, the applause was already fading before these whispers resurfaced. And the internet.
Considering the fact that they shot it back to back, but you see that there was an effort made by whoever put together this trailer.
It never lets a hole stay empty. Meghan's missing year has morphed into a full-blown digital scavenger hunt. Online sleuths are treating it like a royal cold case. And every detail gets dissected like evidence at trial. TikTok edits are going viral. Users are slapping ticking clock sound effects over grainy yearbook shots, circling the timeline gap in bright red and framing Meghan's silence like a countdown to exposure. Twitter threads read like investigative files. Reddit pages map out theories like detectives pinning photos on a corkboard. Her carefully polished story has become a public puzzle. And puzzles don't go away until someone solves them.
The trailer wasn't as obsessed with Meghan as the previous trailer. Oh, this is the most exciting day of my life, Mindy Kaling says, as...
And then come the interview slip-ups. The cracks in Meghan's carefully scripted story. Remember when she told Oprah she grew up as an only child? That clip went viral instantly because if the Chicago whispers are true, Meghan wasn't an only child at all. She may not have just erased a missing year. She may have erased a daughter from her own narrative. Commentators argue this isn't just wild conspiracy for clicks. It's Meghan's own contradictions that keep the fire burning. If she had even one receipt, a passport stamp, a blurry photo of her in Europe, anything that proves she was actually on that gap.
Towards the people that have come to show her things. And she's like, oh, I'm so glad you're here to teach me this. Instead of people bowing.
The speculation might finally die down, but she doesn't. Instead, her silence has turned into a blank canvas, and the internet is painting its own answers all over it. And here's the brutal truth. The internet never loses. They don't get bored. They don't back down. And they don't stop digging once they smell blood. For Meghan, that's the nightmare scenario. Because if real proof ever surfaces, a stray document, an overlooked photo, or even worse, a grown daughter stepping into the spotlight, the fallout won't just be another tabloid cycle. It'll be cultural history. The kind of scandal that redefines her legacy forever. This wouldn't be another Prince Andrew-style PR meltdown where denial turned into a global punchline. It wouldn't even echo Diana's secret tapes, which ironically made her more human and more beloved. No, this would be different. This would be Meghan caught red-handed in a lie about her very identity. Clip 30. See that there was an effort made for Meghan Markle not to be, everybody fawning over Meghan Markle in this. Her carefully curated life story, polished for cameras, wrapped in Netflix gloss, sold as her truth, would shatter the second a receipt surfaced. One undeniable piece of evidence, and the mask would slip in real time and the internet it would go nuclear. Hashtags would erupt within minutes. Hashtag Meghan Mrs. Singer and hashtag Chicago Daughter plastered across every platform.